So I want to talk about selling digital products online, in particular selling low-end products versus high-end products. So let's talk about the high-end products first, because I feel like so many coaches and service providers tend to gravitate more towards creating the higher end stuff. You know, those courses that are $1,000, $2,000, even $3,000 because that's what we see so many other people doing online. One example that you've likely heard of is B School, right? That's a big, expensive program. It's a very in-depth program. And as you know, she has a massive launch that I believe lasts for like an entire month. That's a huge, huge undertaking. Now, if you don't have the kind of reach that someone like Marie Forleo does, it can be a little overwhelming and a little challenging to be able to sell a program in that price range. Something to keep in mind, though, is that a lot of those people that you see selling those higher ticket things, they didn't start out that way. For instance, I know Denise Duffield Thomas selling her Money Bootcamp, which you may have heard about as well. I actually bought that program back in, I think it was 2013, and it was a $497 program. It is now a $2,000 program. So she didn't start off trying to sell this $2,000 program when her audience and her reach was much, much smaller. She started lower and worked her way up there. And I feel like that's not talked about enough. You know, there's all this pressure to sell high end, sell high ticket because you're going to make so much more money a lot faster. Yes, those $1,000, $2,000 sales are going to add up really, really quickly. But if you don't have a big following, say on social media, you don't have a very big email list, maybe you only have a few hundred people on each of those things, and you have some clients, when you kind of sit back and you think about it, who's going to buy that $1,000 course? Now, I have sold $1,000 products, and let me tell you that it's a lot harder than selling something that is, say, $99 or less, or even like $150. I sell $150 products all the time. But to sell something for $1,000, it takes a lot more work. It takes more time. And if your audience is smaller, you're not going to sell as many. You know, many, many years ago, I had launched a program that was $1,000 program. And of course, we sold a few. And in each year, that just grew and grew and grew. As the audience grows and grows and grows, it gets easier to sell the higher ticket stuff. But if you are looking to just start getting into selling digital products, you're going to want to consider selling low end products that are like $99 or less. Because here's the thing, if your audience isn't that big, then you really want to focus on growing that audience and growing your reach before you start incorporating some of those higher end programs. Like maybe you sell big coaching packages or service packages. You probably know how hard it is to sell those, especially for instance, let's say you're posting on Instagram. The chances of some random stranger seeing that post and reaching out to you and buying your, say, $5,000 package is pretty much slim to none. It doesn't happen very often. I mean, I imagine it does for some people, but again, if you don't have a very big reach, the chances of that happening, it's going to be slim, right? If you focus more on the lower end stuff, you're going to have an easier time getting people to take a chance on you, right? When people are spending, say like $37, they sign up for a little offering that you put together for $37. It's not a big investment on their part, especially if they don't really know you. Maybe they've been watching some of your posts on Instagram, or they've seen a video or something. They're like, hey, you know, I really like this person. I like what they stand for, what their messages and, you know, what their offerings are. So I'll take the chance and spend, you know, $30, $40 and see what their work is like. And then that grows over time, right? They're like, ooh, this is awesome. I love this product. Well, then I'll buy the $200 offering and the $500, and then I will invest in the coaching program, and it just grows from there. But it's really hard to just get that cold traffic coming in and people just randomly buying your great big packages, right? It takes time. And so you can begin to build your audience in a big, big way by bringing people in through those lower cost products. Also, they are a lot faster to create because you're not having to put together this massive, massive course with tons of content and tons of videos. You don't have to hire a massive team to help you do this great big launch. And that's the other thing, the great big launch that takes a freaking month to do and takes so much work. And then you need like a year to like rest after that because it was just so overwhelming and so much work. And you may have heard the stories too that a lot of those people doing those big launches, they really aren't making a lot of profit by the time they pay affiliates and pay all their Facebook ad expenses and all of their team and all their other expenses. It's a lot different when you're doing a lower cost product. Again, you can create it really fast. You can sell it really fast. It's going to be a lot easier for you to sell because it's a lower price. And so people aren't going to be as like weary of investing in your offering. If, for instance, if it was 1,000, people have to think about that. And then like, oh, it takes time, right? You need to have those people in your audience. And again, that goes back to that, getting those people into your audience, getting them to buy that first little thing. And then that little, $10 purchase or whatever is going to be increased over time as they continue to buy and buy things. A lot of my best customers have come in through $11 products, $17 products, and they have gone on to spend thousands and thousands of dollars with me over the years. And it was just getting them in the door with that little thing so they could see how awesome, my stuff is. And then they continue to buy and invest in all of the things that I offer, right? If you've been thinking about selling digital products, consider selling low end to start with and work your way up as your audience grows over time. Again, it's going to be so much easier for you to be able to do that if you have those low end offerings.